Hi everybody. I know we can either do a video where we talk about a group that we would like to design or a group that we have been involved in. My goal someday is to work with people who have substance abuse issues. But I wanted to talk about a group that I actually was involved in for parenting. When my husband and we had just had our first son, we actually put him in a private Catholic school, and the school offered a class. I think it was called a discipline class. I can't remember how to properly discipline your kids. It was more of a teaching class. It was less of a therapy class. You sat, you listened, you did exercises. They gave you brochures. They gave you pamphlets. They taught you ways to discipline your child through consequences instead of, well, what some parents do, which is spank. So in this class, we sat like, it was in church. So we sat in church pews and we all had our little books, and they had a video, and they had, I think, some activities that were, close enough. So we used whiteboards, and sometimes we broke off into groups and we worked together. But they taught you to discipline your children via consequences. And what I mean by consequences are children always have things in their lives that are important to them. So I'll use my youngest son for an example. He likes video games. He's obviously very big into video games, as most kids are this age. He likes to have money to be able to walk to the store and buy a candy bar, gum, whatever. He also likes to be able to go on, activities. Like he likes to go and do things like the movies, or, we go to Echo a lot, or any kind of happening that's happening around. He loves to go doing those things. So as far as consequences are, what they told us was every week your child would have a set amount of goals that they would need to reach. If they didn't reach that goal, maybe for a day or for the week, they didn't do their chores, or they didn't, they talked back, or they got trouble at school. Depending on what happened, there would be a consequence. So say my son didn't do his homework, and his teacher called me and said he hasn't been doing homework an awful lot. He would lose, we would take a consequence away. If it was something big, like he hadn't been doing his homework, I would probably ground him from his video games for a couple days until he got himself together. If it was something where we caught him in a lie, maybe we wouldn't give him money to go to the store. But it was a step-by-step system. Depending on the crime, you would discipline them by a consequence, by taking away something that they really wanted. So if it was something little like lying, or he didn't empty the dishwasher when he was supposed to, I could take away his money to go to the store to buy a pack of gum or something. If it was something big, like I said, like not doing his homework, I would take away his video games. Or if he had done something seriously bad, let's say he went to the store anyway and he stole something, there would be a higher consequence, like losing all those things plus something big. And what you're teaching your child is, if you do something that is against the rules, there are consequences for your actions. So instead of just grounding your kid to their room and saying you can't leave your room for 5 days, they're actually missing out on something that they really want. So there was a chore chart that we had to follow, and he had to do certain chores every day. And there was, a list of things on the refrigerator that said what the consequences were for if he did something wrong. And, it could have been anything. We could have caught him in a lie. He could have talked back. He could have not done a chore. But, the first time you do something wrong, you lose something that you really want. The second time you lose the next thing. And then you can say to them, hey, you're doing, you're pretty sketchy going on here. You might want to start towing the line. If you don't, then you're going to lose your bigger consequences. Maybe it's the biggest thing of the week where he really wanted to go see a movie, and he did so many bad things in the week. The consequence was, we don't get to go see the movie this weekend. So in this class, it was a group of us, and it was an alternative form of parenting. And it's popular today, but when my kids were little, when my oldest was little, it was 21 years ago, they still spanked kids. So we were looking for an alternative to disciplining the way other people did, because I don't believe in spanking. I believe in consequences. There's a consequence for your actions. There's a consequence for everybody's actions. You speed, you get a ticket. You steal, you get caught, you go to jail. There are always consequences for our actions. So this class taught us to teach our children from the very beginning there are consequences for your actions, and that's how we learn to discipline our child. So that was the group that I was involved in. It's the only one that I have been involved in. I hope, like I said, later to be involved in others that have to do with substance abuse and whatnot, because that's the field I want to go into, is helping people with addiction. But I'm not really sure how I would put that all together yet. So I picked this one because it's different from what a lot of the groups that we've talked about this semester. It was more of one of the teaching group, I think, and I don't know that there are many like this now and anymore. So anyway, that's my group. It was great working with you this semester. Take care.